Clear Fleet-Proof National Conference down in Orlando, Florida. I've got the great pleasure of seeing a good, dear, old friend of mine, Dave Johnson, VP of Asset Protection with the National Retail Federation. Dave, great to see you.
Nice to see you,
Thanks
John.
for coming out.
You got it.
You had a very important segment today at the end of Homeland Security's presentation. Big announcement for you all as far as the CORCA legislation you're pushing forward. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure. We announced our Fight Retail Crime Day, scheduled for October 26th of this year. It's actually our second annual. We started it last year with the grassroots efforts of bringing more attention to the Combating Organized Retail Crime Act. Did not get through last year's legislation, but it was reintroduced again this year. It has great bipartisan support on both the House and the Senate. We're up to, I believe, over 85 total sponsors, co-sponsors amongst both aspects of Congress. So on October 26th, we have about 35 individuals, LP, AP leaders, government affairs, with 20 plus brands, taking the fight to Capitol Hill. We're going and we're going to start the morning with a press conference with the bill sponsors of both the House and the Senate, along with Matt Shea, the CEO of NRF. And then we're going to go have conversations with senators and House of Representatives so they can hear directly from the retailers what's happening out there, the crime, the violence, you know, the theft, and then the importance of passing this legislation.
Right.
And it's not only legislation to help, you know, Department of Homeland Security, because as Raul mentioned today during his presentation, the funds that he has, the resources that he gets, it funnels down to the state, the local, and the regional,
right,
you know, law enforcement. So it's going to allow us to battle this, you know, battle this enemy really on all fronts.
Right. Well, it's not only important for you as the National Retail Federation to go and be face-to-face with our congressmen and our senators, but it's important that you actually bring the people that are most impacted, the businesses that are most impacted by this, to really communicate that message. Because I think, and I deal in government and public affairs quite a bit, I think until somebody has the knowledge and foresight to bring it to them, they just rely on media. They're just relying on what they hear on the news, and we all know if it bleeds, it leads, it makes a good story, then they're going to put it out there. Otherwise, it's kind of hidden, and it's been hidden for a lot of years. I mean, every once in a while, you'll see a big story, especially if it makes the news. But, I mean, we just talked this morning. The case of the year. It was over a $40 million case. I mean, this is huge, and you hear it all the time. You know, consumers complaining about empty shelves, consumers complaining about having locked up, you know, razor blades and locked up this and locked up that. You hear that. So I think it's really important that you as an organization, the NRF, bring those retailers, those businesses that are being impacted, right face-to-face with our congressmen and senators, and really get them knowledge, something they can hear right through their own ears, not through a talking head on television, right?
You're exactly right. You know, our role is to be advocates and be connectors. So we have to connect, you know, the retailers, our membership, to, you know, those aspects of our entire community, of our entire government, right? Whether it be federal or state or local, or even providing the media with the true narrative.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's the retailers themselves that they want to hear from. And you know, at that government level, we're happy to be able to do that. We're excited about what's going to happen on October 26th. Yeah. We are very pleased with the amount of support we are getting from Congress in wanting to be part of it. So it tells you exactly how big the issue is, and it tells you exactly what they want to hear and who they want to hear from, which is the retail community.
Yeah. Dave, you've been in a lot of senior leadership positions. You've come up through the ranks. We came up through the ranks pretty much together, side by side, different organizations. Now you're the leader of NRF as the VP. You know, you've been to Clear many years. How important is it for you as the Vice President of Asset Protection at NRF to actually come out and actually engage and talk to the boots on the ground folks at both the law enforcement and the retail level?
Yeah, it's all about collaboration. It's all about partnership. It's all about building the networking in order to be able to, you know, as you know, to have the names, to have the numbers, to have the relationships built before we really need them.
Right.
But what is absolutely necessary when it comes to organized retail crime, are the partnerships between law enforcement and the retailers, and Clear does a great job at promoting that and providing that. And, you know, this is my first repeat event in my role with the NRF. You were my first interview in my new position. So I'm happy to be back here this year. It's great to be able to see the Reverse Fusion Center.
Right.
We have a great fusion center.
You do?
Clear is part of it at the NRF, and it's interesting to see how Clear has inverted that so that the law enforcement agencies can come and talk to the retailers about what they're doing with organized retail crime.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great relationships already built here, and a lot of times, you know, there, especially at the leadership level for ORC investigations, we have a lot of leadership folks here, and you're engaging with different law enforcement agencies, and even in certain scenarios, and cross-channel communication constantly about, you know, this situation is happening here, and you're having the same situation. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. Let's get this shut down and bring both of us. And in the end, for our consumer, right? So it's really good for all of these folks that are boots on the ground to really get together, collaborate, network, spend time together in a what do you even call it, non-competitive kind of environment where, hey, we're all in this together. We're collaborating. Raul Aguilar from Homeland Security said it. You know, it's in your name, coalition, right? We are a coalition. We are all working together for one goal, and that's to combat retail crime, right?
Absolutely. There's no competition when it comes to crime, particularly the violence that we're starting to see, right? And you know, with this group here, you know, the thieves want us to build walls. The thieves do not want us to share information. So, you know, the best thing we can do is to break down those walls, move those silos, continue to share more information, and get it done.
Well, I hear quite a bit from everybody, you know, in getting conversations, doing interviews. You know, the thieves are actually surprised sometimes that, wait a second, Home Depot and Lowe's are talking, CVS and Walgreens are talking. So it's kind of interesting to hear some of the stories about the successes that the retailers and law enforcement have had over the course of the last year, and some of the cases are being shut down, and just how much organized retail crime has grown over the past decade. I know, or Scott mentioned, and whatever, that's not happening. All of a sudden, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? I told you so.
I gotta tell you, I know we just start our annual National Retail Security Survey, and the top 10 priority remain organized retail crime. The violence associated with shopping and with organized events never here. 88% shoplifting, you know, criminal activities. That's even from last year. So we have to go into care of the gratitude and just eliminate the issue.
I'm starting to see it's front and center now. We have CEOs on you know, calls, on their quarterly calls, on their annual calls, calling out, we have a major problem here. And you know, when it comes to, you know, these individuals are going and clearing out entire aisles of product, and that's a real problem. So it's only getting worse because nobody's done anything about it. But now voices have been echoing year over year. I've got the attention of folks, good folks like you, who are doing it at the national level, presenting it to Congress, presenting it to senators, and talking about it, and actually pushing legislation forward. Because over the years, we have just defunded police. We have, you know, increased the levels of what a felony is and things like that. That has really hurt us, both in the private sector as well as in law enforcement, from doing anything about this. So let's hope we get something done. We will do everything we can to support you in your efforts, for sure. I love it. Love to see it. National, what is it? National
Fight Retail Crime Day.
National Fight Retail Crime Day is October 26th. October 26th of this year. So Dave, great seeing you once again. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for spending time with us doing a segment on your efforts at the NRF. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate all that